Ah.
I don't know what that is.
All right. Hello.
Hi, Tim's sick, I guess. His tummy hurts,
He's got the poops, maybe.
I guess.
Explosive diarrhea.
Oh, hi.
Oh, he is here.
You said the magic words.
Explosive diarrhea.
Yeah.
All right. That's how we summon you.
Yes.
Sweet. How you doing, man?
All right.
Oh.
Stomach was a bit upset.
I have straight out the gate.
Whoa.
I have Chris's hot lick tonight.
Already? I don't know if we're ready for that.
Like in a big way. In a big way. You know how when you look on YouTube how to do something in a video game and then it doesn't work, and I don't know, people are stupid. YouTube's awful.
They didn't give the right instructions or whatever.
Yeah, just
that always
some
happens.
trick that doesn't work. You know what I mean? So, have either of you ever heard of the Downy Crake in Monster Hunter World?
I heard the term for some reason. Where did that come up? Yeah.
Okay.
What the heck is that?
There are 4 different endemic pets that you can get, and each one grants a trophy. They're like the super rare ones.
Whoa. I wonder if I've gotten any already. No, probably.
No, unless you were looking for it, you probably don't have them.
Is there spoilers? Is there anything? Would this be fun to do?
No, it's not fun at all. It's a goddamn nightmare.
Oh.
Yeah. One of them is the petricanth. It's like the living fossil, you know, the fish.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is called bristly crake, and it's a black puff bird. One is called downy crake, which is a white puff bird, and the other one is the a hercudrome. Prism hercudrome is like a beetle.
I got a gold one, maybe a gold one.
Yeah, there's other ones, but this is the prism one, right?
Wow.
So I got all 3 of them when I was about a month ago. I was like hunting for them actively, trying to get them.
Uh-huh.
And the first 3 came, you know, I think I was either really lucky or maybe it's not as bad. I spent 2 hours looking for Downy Crake and I could not get it to appear. It was the worst thing ever. Like I run around all the time. Anytime I go to either Wildspire or to Ancient Forest, I always put my ghillie mantle equipped just in case it shows up, you know. I've never seen it ever. So today I got thinking about it because I got my what is it, Dr. whatever, Monster Hunter PhD, whatever it is. The trophy for getting all of the research done for all the monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I looked at the list and I only had 4 left. One of them is for Arena, which is eventually going to come anyways. The large and small crowns, which is the obvious ones. And this Downy Crake, right? So I was like, I wonder if there's information that people have, something that people have figured out. So I look on YouTube and I found one, 100% Downy Crake trick. I was like, there's no way. So I watch this video and it says, you know, go to this location. The Aptonath are going to walk down this thing. And so the idea is that you zone in and they're like on the back of like Aptonaths, right?
Yeah.
And so I run over and it's not there as per usual. And they say, you know, run to this spot, just hang out here for a bit, spin the camera around a little bit, like look at them, look away, look at them, look away. Just, you know, kind of hang out in this area, right?
Yeah.
And then as they walk down the hill, like don't chase them, let them come to you, and just keep moving the camera around, out, in, out, in. And then you're going to hear peep, 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 peep. And then you turn around and there they are right on the Aptonath. I was like, there's no way. I swear to you, first try, they show up on this thing's back. So right at the gate,
weird.
There's my hot tip. I'm gonna put the link in the show notes so you can check out how to catch this Downy Crake.
All right.
100%. And I'd be curious to see, you know, because maybe it's one of those things where I got really
So have
lucky.
you gotten all the other ones then?
Yeah, so I got them all. So I have 3 trophies left outside the platinum. 50 arena quests. No, sorry, 4. 50 arena quests, the guild card ones, and about halfway with guild cards.
You checked the list to see what you were missing at some point, right?
For the trophies?
Endemic Life.
And no, I haven't checked it. Just I looked up which ones I needed for the trophies.
Oh, for the trophy. Oh, so you don't know if you've got all the endemic life.
Oh, I know I don't. There's a ton of shit I don't have.
Oh, I see. You just got those. Okay.
Just for the trophies, right?
Cool. Wow, that seems kind of cool. Actually, I think that's pretty neat. And how did the heck did anyone figure that out?
I
That's
don't know.
bizarre. That's really weird that they figured that out.
Yeah.
Internet, though, I guess.
This game is so good. You guys want to talk about Spring Blossom Festival or what?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Does anybody listen to this podcast like hate Monster Hunter now because that's all we talk about?
They'd be gone. They'd be
Can we
long
just-
gone.
Can we just change this to Monster Hunter podcast?
Well, I mean, sure.
Monster
it.
Hunter and explosive diarrhea.
That happened a few other times, so yeah, probably that wouldn't be unreasonable. Yeah, it's
Can I
cool.
tell you- Hold on. Can I interrupt Monster Hunter to talk about
Monster Hunter?
a time I remember you having explosive diarrhea?
Oh yeah, I remember that time.
Do you know which one I'm going to talk
I know
about?
the one on the bus. Right? I wasn't on the bus, but I was fighting it on a bus.
in Hamilton.
And you were next to me.
No,
weren't
it was a
we
different one.
Didn't we buy computers or something? We had bought computer parts or something on that day.
Taking the number 2 up to what was that place called at Barton and Kenilworth?
I don't remember. Yeah.
In a case. No, in Toronto. Do you remember we were going to see? Yeah, we were on the subway. Do you remember where we were going?
Oh, vaguely.
We were going out all the way west to. Is Kipling like the furthest west station, or was it at that time?
You got me. I don't know.
And we were going out to meet Carly and Stephanie because we were going to a concert that I totally forgot about until right now.
Puffy Amiyumi concert.
Yeah, that was.
I forgot all about that.
I didn't really enjoy it that much.
No, I don't really
Not
remember much of it.
Not my scene, but it was. Yeah, I totally forgot that we went to see that.
Yeah, that was a bad day for me on the way back, or it was the way there, or the way back. I can't remember. That was rough. Yeah, an intense amount of pain. Spring Blossom Festival. So that came out. What day was it? Last Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday night.
It's cool. We get it like a day before or whatever because it's Japan time. So far, no new monsters, but a lot of new things to do. They brought back all the events from before, so anyone who didn't get their other events done for random unlocks can do them. And basically, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that improves. You know, getting gold, getting the crowns. You can. If you, depending on what you're after, there's probably an event for what you want to do, which was kind of cool. So I just use the events to kind of help me get things done that I was trying to get done.
Yeah.
So, made that Wyvern ignition finally was able to upgrade it, and it's pretty cool. Great sword.
Is there? Have you guys heard anything about a new helicopter weapon in this game?
Helicopter weapon.
Yeah. I've been hearing about it.
Oh, is that happening
Rumors
again?
of it.
That hasn't happened for ages. Hold on.
So wait, let's go back to what
All right.
exactly the Spring Blossom event is. Like it's their spring thing. It's not just for like a couple days, right? It's for a couple weeks. And,
It's on until the 20th.
until the 20th, and they gussied up the place, right? Some things. They have this cute flowery pig in the gathering hub, and there's a bunch of other flourishes around. It's really interesting, like, to see what they've done with the place. It's not something just like, I don't know, like I try to not compare it to Destiny's events, but you can't help but and it feels completely different, right?
How so? I would somewhat disagree. Why?
I don't know. It feels like, number one, there's a lot of things that are tied into the event for you to do. It's not just like a couple days. It feels like they planned out a bunch of activities for you to do throughout the entire thing. the visual flourishes are kind of a little bit more in your face, I feel. And overall, I just feel a bit, I don't know, it's like a joy to see the stuff.
Sure.
Rather than like in Destiny is just kind of like, yeah, it's Christmas, okay. You know what I mean? Or something like that. So, I don't know. I'm interested to see this event because it's just a different way of doing it, right? And it continues to impress in certain ways for me. I don't know. It's the same for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, at the same time, like, I want the big ones. I want the big expansions. I'm just excited for those. Like, I can't wait for those. Every time one of these little ones comes out, I'm just more excited for what's going to come, right? Like so it's sort of disappointing in some subtle way because of that. Because all I can think of is like
disagree.
other stuff that's going to happen.
You gotta enjoy it though.
You gotta
Are you
be in the
enjoying
moment.
playing
I know.
out?
Yep. Oh, definitely enjoy it. I mean,
Then you
we
sit
had
on
some
that.
fun, right? You were trying to help me friggin' fight Tempered Kieran, which is the mission that you have to do to unlock level 50 and above stuff. And he can one-shot you sometimes, or at least combo you and kill you. And we tried it. Chris and me tried it, and I died all 3 times. One of them was to, I think what I know now was a lightning line that appeared behind me that was off camera, and nicked me, and I didn't see it at all. The other ones were all like avoidable. Now I know how to fight him a lot better. But yeah, I had to solo him, and he was pretty intense. Keenan, you're gonna have fun fighting that guy. I don't know if you fought him already, but
No, I haven't encountered him yet.
what weapon do you use again? Longsword, right?
Yeah.
You got to be able to try and hit that horn on his stupid unicorn head. Like, if you can get that reliably, you can just get in, hit it once or twice, and get out. And that's pretty much what I did for the entire fight. Like, knowing when you can get in, hit him, and then get out. And the greatsword is nice for that because you're already doing a lot of damage with just a couple hits, so, or even one hit. So that made it a little easier. But yeah, I had to craft a bunch of stuff to fight him. And then actually, when we were talking about the hardest fights in the game, when we fought Tempered Teostra, I think that might have been even harder than Kieran, because with Kieran at least you get telegraph stuff. With Teostra, he at any time can go into that explosion, and then if you're too close, you're just dead. Like, we both carded to it simultaneously.
Yeah, but we got screwed because of the sleep thing. Like, I think it was just if we were
Maybe,
playing
but
smarter,
I
it
just
wouldn't
never
have
know
happened.
when to go in. Like, I don't want to go in on him when he's in that mode.
Sure.
Right? Like, it's just annoying. Whereas with Kieran, it's just like, okay, you know what he's gonna like. Big deal. Like, you can dodge his stuff, right? I mean, maybe there's another way to fight Teostra that I'm not thinking about, but
Well, I don't know. Is like he's not like the method. Well, the method which Chris and I did, which was basically Chris hammering away at him and me like hanging back at the time. But but like just knowing that he's about to go into that enraged mode, I think flashing him, just like getting ready to having one guy ready to flash him is pretty much enough.
yeah, I guess so. I learned another tip for Monster Hunter. Apparently, Devil Joe is really like you can use the meats on him, the tainted meats and stuff. He's one of the monsters who does eat them. So you just got to bring a lot and put him in the middle of every zone he's going to be in, and he'll generally go after them. So I haven't even fought like Tempered Devil Joe yet, so kind of scared to do that. Chris, you switched your weapon for a little while, right? Are you still on the Lance, or?
Yeah, Lance is hot shit.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you find yourself using the charge a lot? I think that thing's super fun, just that part of it, especially.
Super situational. I don't
Yeah.
use it that often.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you use it when they're on the ground, right? Or no? It's not worth it.
Nah, I don't know.
Anyways, what else have you guys been doing besides Monster Hunter?
I played more Minute. that game. I think I'm almost near the end. It's pretty short. I think it's definitely worth $10. I wouldn't have paid more than that, just given the length. Like it's really well polished. There's some good music in it. This is the game I talked about last time where you have 60 seconds and then you die, and then you basically start back at a checkpoint with any stuff you already got. And the whole game's designed around that. No, a bit of it. I never played tons of it.
And is it mechanically similar?
It's more like playing the old Link's Awakening. Like it looks like Link's Awakening in a way, and it's more puzzly like that. There's a lot of puzzles and stuff.
Yeah, I found it looks a lot like Undertale, like that black and white, like bold.
Downwell.
Yeah.
Maybe more
Downwell.
like Downwell.
Well, it's the same idea, right? Like those three games are kind of somewhat similar looking.
The way they look, yeah. Yep. It's a short little, get it if it's $5 and play through. It'll take you a couple hours. There's a bunch of secrets in it, but so we'll see if it gets me enough where I'd want to do all that, but I'm not sure. If it has some kind of secret ending, that would be kind of cool. I don't think there is though.
$10 and you spent what, like
3 hours, 4 hours?
3 hours? Yeah, that's not bad.
Let's see what I've got. 5 hours already. I'm still not done it. I'm almost done it. So, yep, it's fun. Good soundtrack too. So, played a bit more Slay the Spire, just showing it off to somebody who's into card-based games, and he was pretty impressed by it. So I might have sold a copy there. Not really too much else to be honest.
Doing the advertiser's work.
It is really good. I mean, it's one of those games that even though I beat it a couple times, I could definitely just play a run here and there and have a lot of fun with it. And I haven't even tried to do any of the higher difficulty type stuff. Not difficulties, but there's like handicaps that you can do.
Sure.
That make it a little harder. So it's super good. Yeah, I was trying to get in. I was debating about whether to get a Magic the Gathering Arena beta key for like $7, but I decided not to. I was like, I have enough stuff to play. I don't want to pick up a really difficult, complicated card game. But I like the idea just to get into Magic a little bit. But I don't know. It looks good though. I don't know if you ever seen. I don't know if you guys have paid any attention to it. It's going to be, I guess, coming out this year at some point. Yeah. It's their answer to Hearthstone. It looks really well designed for such a complicated card game. It's way more complicated than Hearthstone, right? So taking all that into account, watching some people play it, it looks pretty user friendly, because playing the actual card game itself was really overcomplicated for me. Like understanding all the different turns and parts of each turn, and this looks like you could jump into it and understand it a lot better. So I've played some of the Magic. There's some on Steam, different single player ones.
Yeah.
I played one on an iPad, I think, and there was some cool stuff in that too, and I actually liked it. I think it would be perfect if there was some single player stuff to it, and I imagine there's some simple bots you can play against, but I don't know how hard they get. So I get a little, I like the idea of playing like a single player campaign in those games too, for part of it, just to kind of ease myself in. But, yeah. I didn't really play too much this week. That's about it.
Yeah, I was stuck in VR a lot this week.
Stuck in it.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that I picked up a couple more things and spent some time on the games that I picked up last week a bit more.
Oh yeah, okay.
I am really out of shape, is what I'm learning. and I need to stretch before doing some of this stuff because
Did you pull your groin?
Not so much groin, more like my arms. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's interesting. Like I hope I continue with it. Like things like Knockout League have a calorie counter and stuff like the old DDR games used to have. I don't know. Did you guys ever like make that excuse up in your head like, oh, I'm gaming but I'm like losing weight or burning calories? That sort of thing.
I think for a short time.
Yeah. Yeah, remember you were quite into that, right?
Yeah, trying to
Yeah.
have
I feel
fun
like-
and get some cardio in.
Yeah. And then eventually you even took break dancing, right? Didn't you, that one summer?
Yeah, it's boring. Not my jam.
So besides Knockout League, which continues to be quite a workout, started playing some Racket NX. It's in early access right now.
What's it
Your
called
basic Racket NX.
Huh. Okay.
And you're basically in a sphere, and it's a racquetball kind of game where you're hitting a ball in that sphere, trying to take out targets and such.
Oh,
And so, yeah, you gotta be careful, of course, have enough space cleared. But it's got a lot of high ratings for a reason, because it's a easy to pick up game, and the physics are really nice in it. So I think you don't have to do much in VR. You just have to have something, I think, that makes you feel like you're not where you are, and that's a game that makes you definitely feel that, like you lose track of where you're standing and everything pretty easily in that game.
cool.
Yeah, and then bow and arrow games seem to be another good thing in VR, and there's one that's been getting a lot of praise called In Death. And it's got a kind of interesting mechanic to get around. Everything has to deal with shooting arrows. So when you teleport, it's not like using the control sticks to jump you to where you need to go. You actually shoot a teleport arrow where you want to go to. Or you can also do a quick thing with the controller, like pressing one of the buttons, and then you'll throw out a shard, and that'll teleport you a short distance, sort of thing. So that movement mechanic actually works really well. You're basically trying to infiltrate a castle, it looks like, from the first levels that I played, and there's a horde of, I guess, undeadish creatures that are in the castle. You have to take them all down with your bow and arrow and such. So you have a shield that you can pull out to block arrows that are coming your way. And I don't know, it's probably got that same Resident Evil vibe where it feels like things are invading your personal space because they get pretty close to you. I don't know if that seems to be the thing that makes me feel really uncomfortable with VR. Even virtual creatures getting too close, it kind of I don't know. It's the same for you when you're playing Resident Evil, but that's something that makes me like kind of feel a bit weird in there.
What's that? There's a PSVR game. Glitch something, or it's like a tower defense thing where you run around in first person space, like you teleport around.
Okay.
What's that game called?
No.
You guys tell me what it's called.
Tower defense game?
I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna take a look around while I go through.
Horrocks?
No, it's 2 words. I gotta look for it. But I found that playing
Ancient
that
Emulator.
No. Playing that game, I found super stressed out, like you say, about shipping in your face and not comfortable with it being in your face. There's a couple of times where, the thing is that there's these robots all like run towards you.
Yeah.
Not towards you, but towards the like beacon or whatever that you're supposed to protect.
Yeah.
And then if they're close to you, then they'll leave the beacon and run towards you instead. And it's stressful. Like, you're facing one way and you turn around and there's like these like robots right in front of you.
In front of you.
It's not fun.
Yeah.
It's stressful.
Like, I don't know, like there's a big difference between something like in Death and I find different than Robo Recall. Like, there's a lot of stuff also jumping in your face in that game, but it always feels like you have a defense against them where you can like grab onto them and throw them back at another robot and stuff. There's always like something that you can do even though they're really close to you. So there's something different about In Death, like just possibly because they're not robots and they're I don't know. There is a little bit more methodical, and you don't have as many defenses against something like that. That makes any sense? In that case, like I think it's a interesting game. I think it's worth playing, especially if you like um, that kind of horror jump scare-ish kind of game, because it has it in there a little bit, just because you have to keep notching arrows and trying to take things down while they're coming at you, and and sometimes they pop around the corner to get you as well. So uh, definitely worth a look at if you're into that sort of thing.
And it's a roguelike I'm seeing here.
Oh, I don't know about that, but
Permadeath, apparently. Checkpoints, you go through and try it. So, yeah, people are loving this thing, man. Looks cool.
Raw data.
Oh yeah, you talked
oh
about
yeah,
that, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
Raw
it's,
Data is a tower defense game.
kind of. I think that's what I got from it. It's like it's a shooting thing where they just run out and go towards like tower defense, but there's only one tower.
Okay,
Like it's not a bunch of towers shooting at things. It's like tower defense in that there's like one central beacon that they're trying to pound on, and you got to stop them from doing it.
right.
So
Okay,
you teleport around inside the arena, and you got to stop them before they get to this thing in the middle.
sure.
It's all right. Is all right.
This is all right.
It's all right. This week was the PS Plus games came out.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mad Max is shit.
Is it?
The other ones are not even worth even talking about. Like, what do you think about that? Like, so In Space We Brawl, 99 Vitas, Qbert rebooted. Like, don't give me any of that shit. It's all awful. Like, do you think it would be better? Is it better to give like 2 decent games and then a bunch of garbage, or 2 decent games and nothing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like, there's only so many decent games that are going to be out there, right?
And that's fine, but you can just not give me this other trash. Like, it's real bad. The stuff that they gave is like really, really bad. And if you want people to be excited about PlayStation Plus, maybe don't give
Yeah,
this
don't
stuff
do
away.
that. That's kind of the Netflix philosophy these days. Just throw things on there, right? And if it's crap, then like it's not going to devalue your brand. But yeah, I think it will. I
Yeah.
agree with you. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I kind of don't expect them to curate this stuff very, very well, because they're just trying to say, oh, we got to fill in at least 4 things to give you every single month, unfortunately. Like, otherwise, people don't feel like they're getting their money's worth from the
I don't feel like I'm
subscription,
getting
right?
my money's worth when I'm getting like complete trash.
Well, you won't feel like you're getting your money's worth if they gave away Yakuza 0 or something like that either, because you already own it, right?
I'd still feel better about it because then at least other people
Yeah.
are playing it, right?
Sure.
Like, so an example of that is Trackmania. Trackmania is great. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
Tim, I don't know. Well, obviously you have Plus too. Make sure you download that thing because it got VR.
Oh yeah. Okay.
How
but
was that in VR?
It is vomit inducing. One of the most
Yeah.
barfiest games.
Actually, I
in the
did
system.
try it at your place. I remember.
Yeah, it's a huge barf game. But that's you've heard me say it on the show before. That's a selling point for me.
Blah.
Outside of that trash, I open up Steam. There was actually, I meant to say last week, there was a really cool thing that a guy, what's his name, Dusk Golem, did on Reset Era.
I laugh if you do the same thing as me, because hold on, let me check this thread. I wonder.
How about you let me tell my story?
Hold on, no, it isn't. It isn't. Never mind. Go ahead. I thought we were on the same topic. I was thinking of something. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay.
Your story.
So we did this thing called Game Hole, where a bunch of people in the thread sent him PMs with just their like extra Steam codes that they're not using. And I got a ton of shit from like Humble Bundles and things I already had and whatever else. So I put in like 6 or 7 different keys, sent it to him. So what he did is he took all the keys, put them in a randomizer, and then everybody who gave him keys, he split up all of them and like sent them back out. So you get rid of a bunch of stuff that you
Don't need like doubles.
like doubles and stuff, and then you get a bunch of surprise stuff back.
Cool. That's nice of him doing that.
Yeah,
A lot of
because
work.
it would take quite a lot of effort on his part, right?
Hmm.
So, you want to hear what I got from this thing?
Yeah, dude.
Sure.
I'll tell you what I sent out. I sent out Five Nights at Freddy's sister location, not because I had it, but because it's Five Nights at fucking Freddy's. Oddworld New and Tasty, which I played, is decent. No Time to Explain remastered, which I think is amazing. You guys played it? No Time to Explain.
I have it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
That's the one where you have the multiple, like, there's multiple characters and a time.
I don't know. You shoot a beam. No, you're thinking
I'm
of,
thinking of
Super Time Force.
Yeah. Sorry. I know what
Time to
you're talking
Explain's
about.
great.
Yep.
I sent out Super Mega Baseball, which is a lot of fun. Back to the Future, the game, which I already had. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. You know,
I feel like that might be your most hated game
How do you have a
in the
code for
last
that?
couple years.
I don't even know where it came from. And then the other one was Insanely Twisted Shadow Planet. So all, like nothing super amazing, but all like decent games. I didn't want to give away total garbage, right?
Yeah.
So I sent out those 7 and I got 5 keys back. You want to hear what I got?
Yeah, let's see. Here.
Mini Metro, which I fucking hate.
Oh, okay.
And I already had it too.
Yeah.
Well,
It would be hard to hate it without.
Yeah. Weird Worlds Return to Infinite Space, which I haven't played yet, but it looks kind of cool. I redeem it. American Truck Simulator, which is kind of cool because that's like $25, right?
Yeah. But that's a popular game.
Yeah, so I installed it. I haven't played it yet, but I installed it.
Might be fun. Throw on a radio station.
Yeah, just
Chill
mess
out.
around.
Mhm.
Adventure Chronicles: The Search for Lost Treasure, which is the biggest shovelware bullshit ever. It's like a search and find game, you know.
Oh yeah.
And unfortunately, I already had it, but Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition.
Oh,
Nice.
okay.
I got some pretty good games out of that
That's
thing.
$33 right now, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
So I turned it around and I sent it back out I used GiftBot to send it back out in the thread. Somebody else can grab it.
Sweet.
It's a good game. It's really good. So I had fun with that. So I was kind of playing around with Steam. I have a bunch of games on here, but I don't just put a lot of time into it.
Mhm.
And for whatever reason, I thought, yeah, you know what? I'm going to give this a go. After how many years, I'm finally going to jump into Goat Simulator.
Yeah.
You guys ever play Goat Simulator?
No, I watched some videos of it.
If you had to guess whether I was in a Goat Simulator or not, what would you say?
No. Immediately no.
No.
It's fun as fuck. It's really funny.
How long did you play it for?
34 minutes.
All right. Well, hey.
That's not
So-
bad.
so-
It's fun with
Well,
it.
For a
what have
Steam
you
game?
discovered so far in that game?
In Goat Simulator,
And what happened?
well, just you can climb on shit and you can go like I found some crazy castle where there's like goats bowing down to me and I became the goat king or something and like I can summon goats out of the sky. Like it's a fucked up game. I don't know. I expected it to be. Have you ever seen? There's that GIF of Xbox players and it has like guns and shooting and whatever else. And it has PS4 players and then it's like JRPGs. And then it has Nintendo players and then it's like Mario and kiddie games, whatever. And then it has PC players and it's like whatever, like the most bullshit, boring ass simulator games ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I picture something like that for Goat Simulator, but it's really goofy. Like it's real goofy.
You didn't expect it to be crazy and goofy?
Well, no, and I did. I just
Oh.
didn't like.
Not that much?
It's bananas.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some things in that.
The main
Yeah.
mechanic of this game, like you can run around and stuff, but you can lick stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
And when you lick it, your tongue sticks to it. And so I licked like a can, and I'm like dragging the can behind me, and it was kind of funny. And I lick a person, I'm dragging a person behind me, and hilarious, whatever. And so there's a car that was like doing donuts in a cornfield.
Yes.
And so I went up to it and I got hit by it. It sent me flying across the map and I ran back and I got hit by it again. But I'm like determined to lick this car. And so
Right.
you know what happened. So I went back and I kind of like inch forward, and I finally caught it with my tongue, and it started like whipping me around the thing. like I had no pull on the car at all. And so, like my goat body is like flopping around like all over this field. Like I was laughing pretty hard when I was playing it. I was in the basement by myself, and like I laughed out loud a couple times.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I should have known. Because of the Olympics that we did in Destiny and how much you love breaking physics of
Like the
games.
stupid shit. Right. Remember getting through that wall in Destiny was pretty awesome. That cage.
Yeah, that was like that game when Destiny made got that walk thing for you. Like that was it. Like that was the be all and end all.
Yeah. Because that's like, what can I get through? What can I break?
What can I break? Where can I fall through geometry?
That's right. And did I?
Well, you sold stuff with the shopkeeper for a while.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, so Ghost Simulator, you can probably get it for $1 somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was worth it. I'm happy. Even I might go back and play it again. I may not, but I mean, for the fun I got out of it for a short time, it was totally worth it. So that's my pick of the week is a game that came out in 2014 that everyone in the world has
2014,
played.
really?
I think so.
Wow.
I may be wrong, but what do we have here? This piece of garbage.
I was gonna say, what I thought you were talking about
April
was
1st, 2014.
wow. What I thought you were gonna talk about was a thread by a guy on Era called Sweet Sark. He made an upcoming under the radar games thread, and there's a lot of cool shit in there. And I updated my wish list on Steam with a ton of that stuff. There's some neat stuff coming out. There's actually something called Away that's going to be on Steam and Switch, and it looks like a first-person Toriyama cartoon with like it's a first-person shooter / puzzler.
What's it called?
Away.
Journey to the unexpected.
Yes, you got to see this thing in motion. It looks really cool. I'm interested. It looks very different. So that was one of them in the thread.
It's PS4 as well.
There's a ton of, it's PS4 as well. There's a ton of stuff in that thread. So it's like 6 pages. He's been doing a good job. So there's some interesting things in there. Stuff I definitely didn't know about. So I spent like 3 hours like looking at videos for just that thread, like, and looking up stuff to find out like when these games. Some of them don't have release dates. Some of them are tentatively this year. Some of them are not. But
this game, I can't say anything to like the gameplay itself.
Yeah.
But the art style's cool.
Yeah, for sure. Right. It's really neat. So.
You know what game I was thinking about today?
What?
Chrono Trigger. It's funny that you say about the Toriyama thing. Chrono Trigger's it's a cool game.
Have we talked about it much on the show?
What's more incredible is just how that thing got made.
Yeah, you always hear these cool stories about the Dream Team and like.
I don't know anything about how the game got made. Actually, should look into that. Is there some good resources, Keenan?
Look into it.
Yeah, there's tons, but I mean, like the short end of it is like they took the best people from Enix and the best people from Square and combined to make the super RPG of the SNES era, basically.
And it worked because it's really good.
Yeah. I mean, they even had 2 composers on there that are like the top composers at Square for like many, many years. Yasunori Mitsuda and Nobuo Uematsu. They were both like combined to make the best soundtrack by just about almost everybody's standard.
Yeah, it's
real good.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
that soundtrack is.
Do you remember many years later when they had that? There was like a Jump World or something, and you heard about them making a cartoon for Chrono Trigger, and then they snuck out some footage from. So Jump World is basically where they do all the Shonen Jump, like pre-releases and stuff of their manga, and then they also do like anime shorts that are one-time only special things for the fans. So it's like a convention thing. So, and then they did like this crazy Chrono Trigger short that was there, and then that I think led into the cutscenes that they had on the PlayStation disc and stuff.
That's what I thought you were gonna say.
Yeah. That was some crazy ass stuff, man. Like
Yeah,
back then.
it's fun.
When shit was hard to get and the internet wasn't around.
Yeah.
We were watching stuff on Real Media Player.
How I always struggle with that. I struggle like, and I know that it's like the elitist bullshit, whatever. There's some part of me that's like, whatever, but did things mean more when they were less accessible? You know what I mean? Like, how often did you like get something like a copy of some tape somewhere, or you know, somebody picked up something, some like, even if it's some bootleg trash, like I I have many fond memories of somebody getting a hold of something and then like making a huge event out of it and sitting down to like watch this thing and not have any idea what to expect. Where right now, like if somebody's like, "Oh, hey, I got a copy of this thing," you're like, "All right, I'm gonna download it too," and then it's over.
Yeah,
Like
I
don't know.
I think it's just like there's so much, right? Again, we've talked about this before, but there's so much that is available now. It's like an embarrassment of riches, right? We're sort of in a scenario where you start to value your time more than like, oh, I can just play this like free or super cheap game, right? Instead of just
But-
you sort of develop this sort of early criticism to just judge something at like how it looks in the first like 30 seconds, whether you're going to bother with it or not. And that's why I think like it's good to do what you're doing, like go back to through your Steam library every now and again and kind of look at some stuff and see like maybe I should give that a bit more of a go, right? Because we're really like not giving things as good of a shake as you would have, you know, when you were, you know, 15 years old.
But is
And
that
I
is
think
that
we're missing
because
out.
of youth? Is that because of youth and time, or is that because of like the experience has changed? Like I think a large part of that is just because like I'm old now, and
No, I think
I think
it's
there's a
it's
lot
a
of factors
difference
going
of
into it. I think
scarcity,
part of
right?
it,
Yeah, I'm more with Keenan. Like I think it's just we're
part of
overwhelmed
it
by
though.
tons of stuff constantly. You know.
At
Things
the
were
same time,
pressure.
though, like I think it's the same with anything. If you think about, oh, precious, sure, but I mean, you think about, and I think that there's kind of like a number of different prongs you can kind of look at this. But so, yes, I agree with what you guys are saying, but also like not having the time to sink into something for that much, or the vibe that you want to put your time into this thing, this particular thing. But I think another part of it is that, you know, when you've seen everything, when you've consumed everything, like I've seen this done already better in this place, or I've seen this done
Mhm.
already and it was new in this place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that for something to be brand new, it's got to be real special. Like, can you think of something like in the last few years that really stood out as holy shit? Like this is something new,
Well,
excluding
but-
VR because everything in VR is
yeah. Well, you know, I on that I've thought about that a lot too. And then what I usually end up doing for those kind of things is just trying something in a genre I've never tried. Like that's what I go to. Like something totally outside, like a strategy. You know, I don't play very much
American
strategy
Truck
games, so there's what's that?
new, like American Truck Simulator.
Well, yeah, exactly, right. Things like you got to start jumping out of your comfortable spot and start playing some crazy stuff that you would never really consider.
But that
'Cause,
comes down to
I find that
That's
I
the
do
easy
the
way.
opposite though.
Yeah.
I find that I
The-
do the opposite and just like retreat even deeper into
Mhm.
like what the expected thing is. I know what I like, and I want to focus on that.
But then that's the thing, right? You're never going to be surprised by continually going for what
You
like,
will. It just
right?
doesn't
You-
happen as much, right? Like it just
You're-
makes it less likely.
You have less, yeah, exactly. It's less likely because you don't have the possibility of discovering something that you don't know about, right?
And there's
those
also-
are different. That's a different kind of argument than what we're talking about, like what you were talking about earlier. But like, yeah, if you're gonna talk about, like, hey, how are you going to discover freshness and newness about something. Like
The
it's
other
going to be harder because you're older, you're more experienced, you have expectations, you know how people work and stuff, right? So to get out of your comfort zone, like Tim is saying, like that's how you're going to discover a little bit more out there, right?
well, and it's
And that's fair,
it's
but at
kind
the
of a
same
weird.
time,
I just want to make one point on that. It's kind of just a weird thing to comparison to make, but it almost is like a palate cleanser too, right? Like if you just keep playing similar, or you're really stuck in a similar genre all the time, like when you go outside of that and then go back to it later, it feels a lot fresher again. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I agree with that. I'm thinking so. This is not about video games, but recently Keenan told me to read something called, what was it called? March Comes In Like a Lion or something.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, March Comes Like a Lion. Yeah.
March Comes Like a Lion. It's a comic, and I sat down to read it, and like within the first, like I read 2 chapters of it, and I was like, I know what to expect from this. Like, and even if it does split off from my expectation, I have that preconceived notion of what this is in my head because I've seen this so many times. And it might be something special, but what I've seen from right now is, okay, I've seen this. I know this is the same as this, or this feels like this. Where if it was something fresh, if it was something brand new, then I could say, hey, this is cool. I want to check this out. And I think I'd give it more of a chance. And I don't know if that's because I don't like this thing. I think it's more because, and I think that this is for me anyways, because I'm older and because I've consumed so much media. When I see something, I can instantly draw a comparison to something else, and then I can make a judgment based on my experience with another piece of media.
Is Monster Hunter to you fresh and brand new?
No, it feels like Monster. It's like an evolution of Monster Hunter, but I know I like Monster Hunter, and so I like this.
Okay. But you're not really surprised by the game, are you?
Hell no.
So then, I don't know. Like, you're kind of, I don't know. I don't know how often you're going to be like, you're gonna have that same feeling of the brand newness of everything hitting on all cylinders anymore, right? It's just
No, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's just what it is now.
yeah.
Is that a me thing, or is that this is what happens when you get old? Like you stop. I remember having conversations with like aunts or something and say like, look at how good this is. Like it's amazing. And they're like, yeah, it's fine. And you're like, but why can't you see it? And you're like, oh, I've seen this already. Right. Like I think that, I don't know. I think that the older you get, the more you've consumed, the more you are familiar with, the more you read, the more you know about how things are. Isn't it the same thing as like advice for somebody, or somebody that's young says here's a problem that I have, and you're like, that's not a problem, you baby, right? Because like I've seen other problems. I've seen things bigger than this, that like what you're going through, not to minimize it, because you're obviously feeling something, and it's cool that you have that experience. It's cool that you're excited about video games. It's cool that you're excited about this show or this book. I'm not, because I've seen it already. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but
I don't know.
Like it depends on. Okay, in my opinion, it depends on what you're looking for. Like, there's a lot of media. Sure, I've consumed it. It's given me lots of experience, and I'm not necessarily surprised by a lot of stuff anymore. But sometimes it's just done really well, or done in a slightly different way, or in a twist, or a different way of thinking about things. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not always has to be like a shock all the time. Like for me anymore, and that's just comes with expectation. Now, if I am looking for a new experience, let's say like food experience, okay, I've never had Ethiopian food, but maybe it's time to try that out, right? A lot of people enjoy it, and a lot of people say it's good.
Damn, Keenan, yeah, it is, dude.
So there you go, right? Like there's things that you may not have tried out there that might be worth it to give it a shot. You might not like it, but at least you'll know for sure, right? 100%, one way or another, right? And nobody's ever, like, it's up to you whether you want to take a shot at it or not. But it'll
I
be
don't even know what we're
harder
talking
if you
about.
keep. Well, it'll be harder if you keep on doing the same thing, right? If you say like you like sushi or something and just keep eating sushi all your life, you're never gonna
No,
be
for sure.
surprised by it.
And it's not a matter of not trying it. It's not a matter of, like I said, you said about this comic, you should check this out. And so, yeah, I'll check it out. I'll take a look at it. Read a couple chapters, and all right, that's enough. I get it.
Sure.
You
Yeah.
know.
Do you
And
think
it's
you
so
give
it's
up on
not so
things
much
too
of a-
easily, though? Is what I would wonder about.
Sure,
Or is
that
there
may
a
be the
chance?
case, but I mean, at the same time, if I'm not into it, then I'm not into it. Like,
Yeah.
I think about something, say like Mad Max, right? There's a lot of people really like that game. There's a lot of people that don't, but there's a lot that do. And within a couple minutes, like, it may turn into something interesting. I may be into it, but my initial impression was, eh. And if I have other things that I'm playing, you got to do better than that.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. That's fair. Right? If you've got better options, but I mean that's
So
the
you
thing.
might like, and this might just be you for this, and it's fine. Like you might just not like. I understand. Like you might not have the patience to see it through, but there's other people that would look at it and say, okay, there's enough here. There's hints of it here that I want to go through and take a look at it, right? And like give it a chance, sort of thing, right? But at the same time, there's going to be other stuff that you will want to take a chance on that you're going to say, well, you know what, I'm going to keep on sticking through with this. Whereas other people would say, you know what, Goat Simulator, I know exactly what this is going to be. It's just
Yeah,
gonna be
exactly.
a mess
That's
of
what
a game. I don't
that's
want to
how I am. That's how I am. For that, for sure.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
just different for everybody what they're willing to take a chance and what they're willing to invest time in, right? And whether it speaks to them or not, right?
Sure.
I don't know. It's
I
you.
hear you.
I don't know. I don't feel bad that you, for example, like I said, like March Comes Like a Lion is interesting. That there's stuff that happens later on, but you're gonna have to stick through it. It's fine if you fell off of it. Like then that's fine. I can see how that can happen because it may be pretty boring for some people. So
Make better game recommendation or book recommendations, Keenan. Come on.
well, I don't know. Like I like
I'm
crappy
not-
shit like Pat Labor. So
That's something that I feel like I should
That's
watch.
not crappy.
But a lot of
Isn't that
people fall
crappy?
asleep to it. Like a lot of people
No,
are
I'm
No,
not
but
in
that's
for
the-
it, right?
But isn't that the same thing? Like a lot of people fall asleep during Legend of Galactic Heroes. It's like the greatest thing in the world to me.
Yeah.
Like I think that's one of those things where just you're into what you're
Exactly. To me, Legend of Galactic Heroes is like spaceship battles without Gundams. So
and most of the time it's not even battles. Most of the time it's like talking about like some bullshit political history of some like invented
See, this is why I think I should watch that at some point. Like, because I like Star Trek. Like, I feel like there's a lot of talking related fights in Star Trek as well. When the ships don't always fight each other as much, but I don't know. I wonder. I'll get to it at some point. Didn't they just release a crazy box set that was like? Didn't you talk about that? It's like super expensive. You buy
No, we
that
didn't
thing?
talk about it on this
I don't
show.
I don't
Chris,
know.
let's talk about it.
No, I don't know what that is.
You know?
I heard
Already
about
bought
it, but I don't know much about it.
Oh no, you
Um,
bought it.
Oh, it-
How much does this thing
I
cost?
heard that it was very expensive, and I went and I looked at the price, and it made me want to barf, and then I just ignored
But
it.
that's how people make promises to themselves, and you're a man of your word, right?
And
Blu-ray
and
box
and
one.
I ignored it. I ignored it.
Wow, that's expensive.
Yeah, it's very expensive.
$300 for box one.
Whoa! You're looking at the wrong thing, bud.
Blu-ray.
Yeah,
box.
you're looking at the wrong thing,
You're
man.
looking-
It's not box one; it's a complete box.
It's not released. The only way that it's released officially here is in the one that you're not looking at.
Oh,
Like the one you're looking at's got to be like a bootleg.
it's $800. Oh my god, 1,000 copies.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one. Unfortunately, it's only available in the States, and they can only ship to the States.
That's American too.
It's good for us that that's the case.
No,
mean, good
that's
for
very
you.
good.
Good for
Mhm.
you.
If only you had some friends.
Yeah, but I don't. So we can stop talking about this right now.
Well, I think that's been a week.
No, not interested in talking about this anymore.
But what's the best way that a person like me, Chris, would be able to watch that show?
Come over here in July.
Just live at your house and watch. How long is that?
100. Well, for the main series, 110. 110
Oh, that's
episodes.
not that bad.
But then there's 52 episodes of like side story and 2 movies.
All right. Maybe I'll give it an episode a shot tonight somehow. I'll have to look around.
You gotta watch the
Movie?
the movies. Yeah, the movies replace the first couple episodes. And
Oh, okay.
fuck, they're good.
Well, or you have a friend who has a Plex
That's
server
true,
up
yeah.
that
Plex.
does have it.
Cool.
Yeah,
I'm
I
meaning
totally
to do it.
Yeah.
We'll watch it at some point.
yeah, it's crazy.
It's a thing.
It's a very expensive thing.
Okay.
Right.
It doesn't feel like we've been talking for this long. Is it?
I myself didn't play that much this week, and my stomach's bugging me this whole time, so I'm sort of a little subdued.
Yeah, that's
So,
fine.
wasn't
All
that-
right. Well, I guess that's it then.
Yeah, I'll send a link to that thread in the show notes so people can look at all those different indie games.
Yeah, man. Look at those
Cool
different
stuff
indie
in there.
games. Check them out.
Mhm.
Catch your Downy Crake.
Yeah, don't worry, that's high on my priority list.
All right. We will talk to you boys next week.
That's right. We've got a Yakuza countdown. Only one
yeah.
more week, guys.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Is it next Friday?
It's next Tuesday.
Or next Tuesday? Next Friday is the.
Is God of War, I think.
Is that soon? Eh?
Yeah.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.